Hi everybody, this is Anne. My favorite way to decorate pottery is with underglaze painting. I get comments all the time from people saying they're interested in drawing and painting, but they aren't satisfied with the results they're getting, or people simply asking for direction about where to start. In this video, I'll start at the beginning with supplies, then walk you through an easy but elegant design that everyone can paint on a simple cup. This video is an introduction to underglaze painting, but if you'd like a comprehensive instructional course along with some cool projects, check out my Anne Rule video workshop series. There's a link in the description under this video. Let's talk about paintbrushes. As I'm sure you've noticed in the store, there's lots of brush shapes and sizes to choose from. I like to do intricate paintings and tend to stick with the smaller sizes. Each brush has its own unique shape, so that when it's applied to the surface and pulled or twisted, it results in different shaped strokes. One of my favorites is actually a fingernail detailer brush. I find the synthetic bristles resist splitting apart more than a fine art detailer brush, so I can get really sharp, thin outlines. Another basic brush is the small round. Once it's loaded, I simply lay it down on the surface so the bristles spread apart a bit. And when you pick it back up, you get this lovely petal shape. When I do this in a pattern, I have a nice little flower shape. There's also the flat brush. This one has short bristles. When I lay it on the surface and twist it to the side, I get a little more of an angular stroke. Notice that this first stroke with the excess underglaze is less crisp, but subsequent strokes, eliminating the excess, are more defined. In the project today, I'll also use a flat brush with longer bristles to apply a solid underglaze coat. I find the longer bristles give me more fluid, long strokes, so there are less brush marks in the final look. For the design itself, I started by doodling and playing around with simple lines and shapes, and came up with a really simple one where I could demonstrate the brush strokes and everyone can follow along. I know everyone has some sort of cup like this ready to paint on their shelf. The first thing I do is divide the rim by using this trim spinner. I want to divide it into eighths, so I look for all the green lines. I balance the spinner on 2 bamboo sticks so I have good access to make the marks where I need them and center it over the top. If you need to, tape the spinner to the sticks first so it doesn't move. Next, I need to divide the piece into sections. I saw Joe Thompson from Old Forge Pottery use a laser level to make straight lines, and I couldn't resist trying it. Remember when using the laser to read the safety information to avoid damaging your eyes. This one measures both vertical and horizontal lines, plus has a connector so I can attach it to a tripod. I simply attach it to the tripod, adjust the height that I need it, and then I can follow the guidelines. In this case, I applied electrical tape along the top horizontal line to trace around. Now I can line up the cup at each rim division mark and make all my vertical marks. Finally, I made more division marks and embellished the design at the bottom with diamond leaf shapes, and I also drew angled lines for a triangle shape right under the tape marks. First, I'll paint some cute flowers, so I'll use Amico Velvet Amethyst Underglaze, plus Amico Velvet Blush Underglaze, and a little bit of the Amico Velvet Bright Red. I loaded the brush with the blush, then dipped it in the amethyst, then ended with a little touch of the red. I dabbed off some of the excess underglaze, then I was ready to make my strokes. I made the first stroke above the tape lines centered above one of the vertical triangle shapes. I then made strokes on either side horizontally to that primary one. I then added 2 more strokes in between the 3 for a cute little flower. As my red color didn't register, I went back when it was wet and added just a touch of that red to warm it up. I continued this all the way around the cup. I used my detailer brush to add some tiny centers to the flower. I switch colors for the leaves to Amico Electric Blue and the Amico Intense Yellow. When I mix them together, I get this nice olive green color. I loaded these up on the short bristled flat brush and painted it inside the lines. Don't worry if the underglaze goes outside the lines. You can clean it up using your needle tool. If the underglaze didn't completely fill the spaces, use the brush right against the flat edge to go back over it. I'm not looking to get a solid green color. I want a more striated look where the yellow and blue create pockets of warm and cool and register to your eyes as green like they do in nature. Now I can use my detailer to fill in the small dots with the warm red. For the outlines, I'm using my thin detailer brush. I dip it into the water, and then if you look carefully, you'll notice water drops on the shaft which drip down to the bristles. We want to get rid of that, or it'll drip down on your painting. Always roll your brush onto a sponge first. For best results, always test the flow of your underglaze. If it doesn't flow off the brush in a nice thin line, adjust the underglaze by adding water or drying it out until it flows well. Now I can begin to make the lines. I like to hold it in my lap, use my pinky to steady my hands, and hold my breath for the straightest lines. I continued the lines around all the imagery at the bottom of the cup. Now I use the longer flat bristled brush to apply a solid blue color along the open horizontal space. This time I do want a solid color, so I'm putting on 3 separate coats of the baby blue. I outlined around that as well. Finally, I filled a cake decorating dispenser with slip so I could apply slip dots. I made sure the flow was not runny or too thick. Then I applied a pattern of the dots over the blue line. Here it is, all painted. As you can see, I decided to add a couple of bees and one more line above the flowers before bisque firing, then I glazed it with my white liner glaze and Spectrum chamois glaze for this cute look. If you've been wanting to try underglaze painting but felt it was too intimidating, I hope this tutorial breaks it down for you so you can become confident to try your own designs too. Thanks to the newest members of our Little Street Pottery Research Facility team. If you'd like to join the team and earn a title, click on the Super Thanks button or the link to buy me a coffee. It also really helps us out if you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. See you next time in the studio.